Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Strange, Dark, and Related podcast. I am your host, Elfie, and with me are the Related. As always, we'll start off with our question of the day. So, what is your favorite flavor of cake? I will go first. So, as I said, my name is Elfie, and my favorite flavor of cake would have to be tres leches because I often think that like a lot of cakes come out really dry. And like tres leches is never dry. It's just like, it's very moist and the condensed milk is so good and it's like sweet. I just can't have a lot of it because it's really, really sweet. But yeah, tres leches is for sure like my favorite.
That's a good one. So I do love, this is Willow. I do love tres leches, but I think my favorite is carrot cake. Which I feel like is not a common one, but I love cream cheese frosting. Yeah. So, and then I feel like it's a good moist cake also. I think it's probably because of all of the stuff that goes into it. I also like specialty type cupcakes, not the brand, but like there was one specific brand that I really liked and it was a lemon meringue cupcake. And it had like graham cracker bottom, piped, homemade lemon curd, and then meringue on top that they fired. And so like the cake wasn't sweet, but like all of the other, like the lemon curd was really sweet. So it was kind of like a nice balance.
Nice. That sounds really good. I was like, oh, I'm getting hungry.
Levi, you want to go?
Yeah. So, I really like carrot cake and tres leches. That's amazing. All of those are amazing. But, I kind of like bundt cakes more. Especially like the birthday cake ones and carrot cakes. So I like those.
Bundt cake is really good.
This is Milsim Junkie. I like ice cream cake, specifically this ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins, this chocolate cake one. But yeah, that's kind of my all-time favorite. Even though I like other cakes, I like just plain vanilla. That one's the only one I like to double down on the chocolate on, is the ice cream cake from Baskin Robbins.
Ice cream cake is really good.
I feel like sheet cake, like white sheet cake, is also really good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know what flavor white is, but
vanilla.
I don't know.
Just kidding. I have no clue.
But then it's like, what's yellow cake?
Yeah, that's why.
What flavor? It's like, what flavor do you want? I want white. I want flavor white. I want flavor yellow. It's like, okay.
Yeah, vanilla's white. Hey, lemon is yellow.
I like it. I'll go with that. Thanks, Levi.
I guess that makes sense because pink is strawberry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But red is not cherry. It's red velvet.
Which is chocolate with just red frosting.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck?
I mean, red
Oh,
not
for real?
frosting.
I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, red velvet is just chocolate cake with red food coloring.
Red velvet and strawberry cake are both really good though.
Yeah, they are. Ooh, that's a perfect like Valentine's Day cake.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm getting ideas. Okay.
It's getting close to Valentine's Day.
Clearly, somebody wants to eat cake. Today's topic is a fun one because obviously we all like eating cake, but we're not like 1,000 pounds. And I think that's because we all work out to kind of be able to fuel that cake eating. So today we'll be talking about our fitness journeys. So I want everyone to kind of go around and just give me like a 1-minute rundown of your fitness journey so far. Willow, if you want to go first.
Sure. So I've always been very active. So I was very active as a kid. Never was really in sports, but before we moved to here, California, I used to go riding in the mountains, for, like bike riding, for like hours on end. Like once I learned how to bike ride, that was like my like freedom out of the house. And so I just like leave. And so did that a lot. And then when we moved to California, a lot of things changed. And I think that's kind of where I stopped being as active. Also started hanging out more with friends, all that stuff. 20s, not as active, more drinking and like college type like parties, college type activities. And then, but still went to the gym and did all that stuff, just like not very passionate about it. And I think it was probably like in my mid to late 20s when I found a gym and really enjoyed it. And it was like a mixed martial arts type, like that's how they advertise themselves, as a mixed martial art type gym. Really enjoyed it. Told some of my family members about it, and then kind of just went from there. Really enjoyed like the intense workouts. And then just and then now and now like I'm doing CrossFit. So did that, injured myself, went to a more traditional gym. Fell in love with weightlifting. And then now I'm doing CrossFit.
Nice.
But also fell in love with weightlifting actually in the high school gym because all of my friends were athletes and I was like the only not athlete. And so we would always go into the weight room and then try to show off how much like each person could like push or lift or whatever.
Very cool. Levi, would you like to give us a rundown of your fitness journey so far?
Well, my fitness journey mostly maintains school and PE, but I guess when I was little, I used to do the kids Spartan races and a lot of go rucks with Elfie. And then I got into soccer, then I got into swimming, and then quarantine happened. Yay. So much fun to ruin our lives. Anyways, now I just practice a little bit of self-defense, practice on my strength in my arms by doing some pull-ups or punching and punching bag now.
Nice. Very cool. Mills, would you like to take us through your journey?
Sure. I don't know where to begin. So high school was really when I started taking on a lot of weight, just being a non-active high schooler. And then mostly through my 20s, got really heavy set, like 300 plus pounds, size 50 pants. It's pretty big. And then kind of at some point after college, I was kind of fed up with it. And I think a lot of things aligned at the same time. I don't want to attribute to one thing, but I had, some coworkers who were really into fitness and invited me out to like a daily workout in the mornings. And one day kind of the switch was like, I'll wake up in the morning. And then one morning turned into a week turned into month turned into months, and then into a year. Kept going. Kind of fell in love with it gradually. Fell in love with working out, right? And there were weird workouts. And then finally I committed to like a Spartan race. And I was like, I put money down on it like a year ahead of time. And I was like, I don't want to waste this cash, and committed to doing my first Spartan race and go ruck. And then, in terms of that, like the all those teachings from all those different events and from those things I did kind of transfer into where I'm at now. I may not be as active as I was when I initially lost like 100 plus pounds or almost 150 pounds. But in terms of just kind of that mindset and that attitude, daily routine, keeping active, eating healthy, not caloric deficit all the time. But now, that's essentially where I'm at now. Just kind of maintaining, enjoying where I'm at, and not being extreme. I'm not an extreme athlete. Just really enjoying my life and maintaining, making sure that I can be around much longer and continue working out into my older ages. So
nice. So my fitness journey, I tried a lot of sports as a kid. And I was like really, really competitive. I know, shocking. And I kind of stopped being as active, I think, in high school. Like I did the PE classes that like you had to do, but high school was not a great experience PE wise. Like the teachers were just very negative, and there's like one teacher in particular that like really hated me. I think she gave me an F. I almost didn't graduate high school because of her. Fun times. And then as an adult, I tried different things because I knew that being active was good for your health, but I just didn't really find anything that I was super, I don't even want to say passionate, anything that like really caught my interest. I did soccer as a kid and I really liked that, but they didn't have anything for like adults unless you wanted to be like really competitive. And I was like, I haven't played in so long. I don't want to do that. So I tried a bunch of traditional gyms and I finally found a gym that Willow had introduced me to. Really liked that. That got me into Spartan Race and Go Rucks. And then eventually, because of drama at the gym, I ended up leaving, finding another gym. And I started competing at that gym. And then I found that what I actually enjoyed was CrossFit. This whole time, all the workouts that I was enjoying were CrossFit workouts. So that's when I finally kind of took steps towards getting a personal trainer to make sure that I was moving correctly so I didn't get injured, because that's like a big thing that I had heard was CrossFit was really dangerous. Then once I felt confident with the movements, I joined CrossFit. I've been doing that ever since. I did suffer an injury, and right now I'm dealing with like a lot of pains that doctors just don't know what is wrong with me. So it's been a journey this past year of learning how to, I guess, scale back and not do it the intensity that I like, and finding other ways to kind of fulfill that intensity. But yeah, that's my journey so far. Have you guys tried, I know like we all talked about like working out, but did you try any, like, have you tried any like different diets or any fads?
Not really. More so just because I know that fat diets are really dangerous. And I like the body. I like my body the way that it is. But I have been like eating more salads, eating more veggies and all that, just to get stronger and finally be able to win an arm wrestle with my friend. So it's hard because he deadlifts, so I'm trying to get stronger to at least do that.
Nice.
That's good. Yes, I think I tried a lot of the fad diets. I was never really overweight, but my body was very different than my friends. I've always had like big legs, big hips, but all that stuff. When back in like the 90s and 2000s, it was much more in fashion to be like very thin, like rail thin. So a lot of my friends had that sort of body type. And then they would say like, I'm fat. So I'm like, if you're fat, then I'm definitely fat. So, tried like the Atkins diet, tried South Beach, tried, what else? I did keto for health reasons, and I call it keto-ish because it was more of, doing lower carb because I have PCOS. And so that was more a conscious decision, but I also did it with no red meat and no bacon, which I think a lot of people think that you're like, what do you do? So my fats were all my fats were plant-based. All of my meats were lean and with no red meat, and all of the carbs, I tried to keep them under 60 daily. So if I had carbs like in the morning, then I would just make sure to go lower carbs in my other meals. So try to be as balanced as possible. So I think that's in my 30s. I think I've been more healthy as I understand more of like how bodies function and things like that, and taking these diets and making it work for my lifestyle instead of trying to fit my lifestyle into these diets, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And like I said, they can be really dangerous to do it.
Yeah, I agree. They can be very dangerous. And I never did them under the supervision of a doctor. I just like did them.
You just heard about it and did it.
I think my friend's like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think most people do that. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's it. That's ultimately my fitness journey, and not my fitness, sorry, my diet experience. And also like the not eating, like, right, just I guess anorexia type tendencies when I was probably like in junior high school. But again, that was because my friends were like, I'm fat. And I was like, what are you? No, you're not. And I was also very thin. So like all through high school, I was like 110 pounds. So yeah, no reason to ever think that I actually needed any of this whatsoever, but just based on what I was being told around me.
Yeah, society does that to you. Also, people who are hearing this, before going on a diet, please consult with your doctor first, because it's still very dangerous.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Don't give into the peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried a few different diets. I tried paleo. And even though I lost weight during paleo, I looked really thick. Like I showed people my before and after pictures, and they're just like, oh, that's your before. I was like, no, that's my after. And it was only 6 weeks of paleo. And so I just didn't feel good. So I was like, yeah, this is not for me. I did Weight Watchers with my dad, and that was like a disaster for me because the thing is like you have a certain number of points, right? And so you can use your points however you want. And I don't know if that's how they still do it, but that's how it was at the time. And with my points, I, of course, wanted to save up as many points as possible so I could eat whatever I wanted. And so I didn't eat all day, right? And then I would basically like binge at the end of the day, and then I get so sick, which was just not healthy. And I remember, I think I did it for like 3 days, and I was like, I hate this. I'm not doing this anymore. And it's because I was so afraid of like running out of points by the end of the day. Because then I was like, well, what do you do? What happens if you run out of points? And so I just saved all my points all day. Yeah, and I think my dad didn't really like Weight Watchers either. It didn't help him lose any weight. So yeah, definitely not my style. Now I'm on a diet where I use like the hand measuring method, and that has like worked out really well for me. I'm still trying to figure out like the right portions for myself because I don't need to lose weight, but I continue to lose weight. And I think it's because like I continue to increase, like as my hands get a little bit better, I can do a little bit more like in the gym. And so it's finding that balance between like days when I work out and days that when I don't, and making sure that I'm eating a little bit more on days when I work out, because I definitely feel a difference when I don't eat enough. So, but yeah, it's been fun. This is like the best I've ever felt. And I eat whatever I want. I just make sure that I have the right proportions. I've even done the thing where, well, Mills and I, we did this where we were measuring out our food like for every single meal. And that was hard. That was rough.
Like literally tracking everything. No, tracking our macros was tough for sure.
Yeah. Like weighing everything and calculating. Even like when we were cooking, we're like, all right, how much do we use this? How much? And then like calculating how much the calories were and everything for each meal. That was like rough. And I don't think, did you lose weight on that?
No, I mean, I felt cleaner, but I think I remained the same for the most part. It was just tough maintaining, measuring out every portion size, and seeing your macros, seeing if you're within your daily allotted or whatever you should be getting, right? So it was definitely tough. I think the tough part of that wasn't the consumption. The tough part was the maintenance of that, and like busting out the
Scale.
the scale for every little thing, even yogurt. Make sure you have the right yogurt, then chia seeds or granola, and then whatever fruits you put in it. And that's definitely tough to do every single thing, even snack.
Yeah. It was very time consuming. And I think it was like discouraging doing it like that. And like at the time when I was doing that, I was working with a nutritionist, and the amount that she wanted me to eat for protein, it was like unreasonable. I told her, I don't know how to eat this much protein. Like I'm literally eating as much as I can.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And she's like, okay, then just eat less protein. I was like, but you told me in order for me to be healthy, I need to be eating this much. She's like, okay, well then don't. And I was like, okay, you're not helping me. So I ended up firing her, and I found a different nutritionist. And that nutritionist was like, she wanted you to eat how much? She's like, are you a professional weightlifter? I was like, no. She's like, okay, then you do not need to be eating that much protein. Like, no, not at all. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Like, even if you work with a professional, like they don't always know what's best for you. And so if it's not working for you, don't be afraid to fire people.
Yeah.
I don't think I've experimented with a handful, not a lot, as you guys. Initially, what I used to lose the bulk of my weight was just pretty much caloric deficit. So not really a diet, just really not eating enough for as much I was training, right? Really bad. I'm glad I did it then when I was a lot younger than now, my mid 30s. But yeah, basically would work out 2-3 times a day and then eat less and like not eat enough. I mean, I was eating vegetables and proteins and stuff, just not a lot of it. My body responded well, but I was cutting a lot of the water weight, which is, probably a lot of my initial weight. More recently, I think I alternate on and off on intermittent fasting. At work, my body responds really, really well to that. Right now, I'm not on a 16-hour fast, but I think I did it for a couple years, just straight 16-hour fast. And that worked really well for me right now because the volume I'm training a lot in jiu-jitsu, my body needs more fuel. So I'm not intermittent fasting now as of this beginning of the year. And my body's fine now. But I was telling Elfie this, I think I might switch back to it, fasting again, just to switch up, let my body keep guessing. And I think that always works for me. It's just having my body continue to guess what it is, so that way it continues to burn fat as fuel. And right now, just eating correctly, portion size probably could be a little bit better. But yeah, I'm trying to maintain keep up with Elfie essentially. So
yeah, I found that with like, I can't do that where it's like I keep my body guessing, because when my body's guessing, it's just constantly hungry, because it's like we don't know when we're going to get food, so just be hungry all the time. So I'm like, I'm so hungry. So having like, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to eat at this time. I'm not going to eat at this time. I'm going to eat at this time. Okay, I know like what I'm going to eat. So having like that strict times and knowing like when I'm going to eat, like roughly what I'm going to eat, it really helps. And I found that I actually snack less between meals. Which is not necessarily a good thing, because I think that's where kind of like I think that's why like I'm having issues like maintaining my weight, and I continue to lose weight. And I think it's because like I don't snack between meals, because I'm like, it's fine, I'm gonna eat in like an hour. So yeah, I'm trying to snack. Yeah, finding snacks that I like that aren't super processed is tough. I think that's been a struggle. A lot of snacks out there are very processed. Trying to
That's
keep more
true.
of a cleaner diet. Yeah. What would you guys say were some of your biggest struggles so far during your fitness journey?
Biggest struggles probably during quarantine. Everything was a bit out like in disarray. So me and my mom usually got into some cooking and such. So we tried a lot of different foods, and I think that changed my diet a bit before, so it's kind of hard to get back into a healthy diet. Especially when I got obsessed with hot Cheetos during quarantine and Takis, so that kind of I needed to change my diet a bit for that. And now I'm usually getting hot lunch at school since it's completely free.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. That's really good. That's a cool program.
But it usually has like chicken sandwiches and every single actual healthy thing there gets like taken out immediately because all of the kids want the yummy healthy stuff. So sometimes I do get like teriyaki chicken masala, corn, rice, like that stuff. But it's really hard to get since I have like my class, which is PE, right before lunch, is all the way on the other side of campus.
Oh man.
So yeah. And we cannot run.
Oh, what?
All. Yeah.
You just gotta, perfect power walking.
Say it's part of PE. Told us to run to the cafeteria.
You're like, it's my homework.
I have perfected power walking, except my friend keeps on pulling me back.
Gotta get new friends.
Sounds like you need new friends.
I don't think they're your friends if they're trying to sabotage your meal.
No, they also have hot lunch. I'm like, stop pulling me down with you. I'm hungry.
I think my biggest struggle has been probably the various health issues that I have. So I have PCOS, diverticulosis, and recently found out I have GERD. So PCOS makes me more insulin resistant. My diverticulosis, I need to make sure I'm getting enough fiber. And with GERD, I have to cut out all acidic foods. So when you combine all of those three things together, it's been difficult to make sure that I am eating what I'm supposed to eat for my body and trying to figure out exactly what that balance is and trying not to trigger it. But I've only recently found out about the GERD, which is chronic acid reflux. And because I was eating very healthy, I was working out, and I was continuing to gain weight. And I was talking to my nutritionist, and I said, I think this is inflammation presenting in my body. And she's like, I don't think so. You eat very anti-inflammatory foods, so it doesn't make sense that this would be inflammation. And I kept on pushing, and then had a flare up for my diverticulosis and got a bunch of scans done. And then it turned out that I have GERD. And as soon as I cut out acidic foods, I lost 5 pounds in 3 days.
Wow.
So have been trying to figure out how, also realize my diet is very acidic. I love tomatoes. I love citrus. I love vinegary, like salad dressings. So since October of last year, I've been trying to figure out how to change my diet. So to be able to kind of incorporate everything. So it's kind of been a long journey through that. And I think that like having these different health issues has caused me not to be as consistent with my working out, because it's hard to work out when you have debilitating like intestinal pain and things like that. Yeah. So I think that's been the hardest thing for my journey, is trying to figure out how to manage all of these different things and trying to do it with food instead of medication, because I'm trying to be as minimal with medication as possible, because if I can fix it through healthy eating and making those sort of choices, and I would rather do that than mask those symptoms through medication.
Yeah.
And so far it's been working. Like if I have to do medication, then I will, obviously, or if it helps like jumpstart things and then I can start weaning things back, I also am open to that. But if I can like heal my body naturally through doing things that it needs, I'd 100% rather go down that path.
Yeah, that makes sense. I would agree with that. I think that there's a lot we can do to make sure that, our bodies are getting what it needs from the foods that we're eating, and making sure that we're healthy in our day to day instead of relying on medication. Because I think in the end, that'll be way more sustainable than medication.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm trying just to go into my 40s healthier than I was in my 20s. Because my 20s, while I had a lot of fun and I had a very different body back then, I was not healthy. And so I think I'm healthier now than I was then. And then I would like to go into my 40s just like understanding what I need and like having a good plan worked out for the rest of my life.
Fair.
Though that does sound pretty hard, since our entire family is really, really obsessed with acidic foods.
This is true.
Very much so.
Yeah, I know.
Shocking to me too.
So it's not, and you know what's funny is other people also have this chronic acid reflux, and they all continue to eat like tomatoes and things like that.
But I think a lot of them just don't know, right?
How do they know?
Oh, they know. All right.
Yeah,
They do know, and they're like, hey, yeah, let me just eat less of this, but I'll still like
drink vinegar. I'll still drink vinegar, but yes. That's them.
Oh, that sounds like a hard time.
I know two people in our family that do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's why, like, everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is doing the best that they can on what they wish decisions. Yeah, but that's the decision that I made, is I don't want to go on acid blockers. My doctor said, have fun. You'll be eating you'll be eating cardboard. Good luck. Call me when you want acid blockers. And I feel like I've been doing really well, and I've been able to heal a lot of the damage, and it has made me more attuned to my body, which I think has been really beneficial in both my fitness and my nutritional journey.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. Mills, what would you say are some of your struggles? Have been some of your biggest struggles?
Food is my biggest crux. Having over 300 pounds, coming from a Filipino family, food is very much part of our Filipino like culture, right? So, and it doesn't help that most of my family is known for making really, really good food. So, and it's rude to not eat their food. So, food has been like my biggest struggle throughout these more recent years. I think I resonate with what Willow was saying. I think I'm a lot healthier now, in terms of knowing what I'm putting into my body, being conscious about getting servings of veggies and greens and servings of good carbs and proteins, right? And making it taste good too. But a couple of years ago, I think that was the biggest struggle for me, is just eating correctly. My biggest crux is sweets. So, I'm glad with Elfie we don't have too many sweets in the house. I mean, with yesterday being the exception, I mean, now we have Oreos in the house, mostly because I was like, oh no, I kind of miss this. So again, see, still, it's better. We normally don't keep a lot of that in the home, and once it's gone, we don't. It for me, like then I won't snack on it if it's not in the house.
Yeah.
But that is mostly the biggest thing. And the second thing is just consistency. I do try to train frequently as well. But then we'll go on a trip or we'll go on vacation and it kind of puts everything out of whack, or I have to work late and I don't get to go to the gym. But, getting back on the horse is it's become a lot easier as I get older. I'm like, all right, I just need to I know I'll stick with it as soon as I restart, right? And it's not like these gaps are long. It's just like, we'll go on a 2-week vacation or a week vacation or go on a camping trip, and that kind of throws off our schedule. Then two or 3 days later, or even the day of, we'll get back on the horse because we know, or at least I know, as long as we get back to training, we'll go again the next day, etc. So. But the biggest struggle for me has been really the eating portion, just eating healthier. I think I'm a lot better now than before. But yeah, normally that's, I'll teeter-totter.
Yeah. I would agree with you. I think nutrition has definitely been like my biggest struggle. And I think it's because people always talk about like, oh, like you need to lose weight, just work out, eat less carbs, right? And it's like, that was literally, I had an appointment with my doctor and she was like, oh, like, she's like, you're like borderline, like too heavy. She's like, if you keep gaining weight, this isn't going to be good for you. And I was like, I don't think 130 is that heavy, but okay. She's like, no, like you need to lose weight. Like you need to lose weight. Okay. And so I asked her, I was like, like how can I lose weight? She's like, oh, just eat less carbs. I'm like, eat less carbs? How much less? She's like, just less. And I was like, less, but like, how much am I eating now? Like, I don't even know how much I'm eating now. Like, I'm not tracking that. Like, how can, it's like, how can she tell me that the answer to lose weight is to eat less carbs? And it's because I feel like that's what everyone just says. I don't know where she got that from. And like, I don't think that I eat a little bit less carbs now, but what I actually reduced a lot of was fats. And I found that reducing fats actually helped me because I used to eat like a ton of cheese. Like Mills can attest to that. Like we were eating cheese like all the time. And then just like cutting back on the fats, that actually, like, I've lost 8 pounds now. I wasn't even trying to lose weight. It just kind of like happened. I was like, oh, let's try this diet, see how it makes me feel while I'm training. And I feel like I have like a lot more energy. I'm feeling better. I feel like I recover a lot faster. So like this diet that I'm doing, it's really working for me. And I feel like it's definitely putting me on the path that I want, in order to be healthier. But yeah, it turns out it was actually, I had to reduce fat, not carbs.
It's not like you removed it completely.
No, I still do fat.
Yeah, but you do it in like pretty good, not even good portions. I think a lot of the protein that we're eating now are like leaner. A lot of poultry, which works well for you and I. And then every now and then we'll still, maybe once or twice, or maybe once a week, we'll have, beef with fat, and we look purposely for that fat because we know that's also going to convert pretty well in our bodies, right?
Yeah, so, just not doing it every day.
Yeah. Not every day like we used to, for sure.
Dude, there was like a point where we were having like steak every day with like rice and then
avocado.
Avocado. And then like I started having like really bad stomach aches because of like a lot of fat will tend to irritate my stomach. But then so does too much acidity. So we were eating like onions like a salad, and it was like onions with tomatoes, and then like a vinegar dressing, which is like so much acid.
Yeah.
It's like 3 things you're not supposed to have.
Yeah,
They're
and then
so good together.
it was so good,
know.
especially like, mixed with like the rice. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
And then we drink like sparkling water, which is like carbonation. I was like, yeah, my stomach was so messed up. As soon as like my doctor told me like that's messing up your stomach, I was like, oh, okay, cool, good to know. So now if I do like steak, I won't do like onions and tomatoes. I'll do like rice and then maybe like some sort of greens to kind of offset that. Otherwise I do get stomach aches, but it's been like fun learning like what my body does and doesn't like. And I think that's just part of the journey, is figuring out like what works for you, because doing what works for everyone else, I found never worked for me.
I think, that's huge. Just taking stock about how different foods make you feel. I think that's important. I think, in my early 20s, I didn't really think of that, right? I think now, as I've gotten older, it's like, oh, okay, hold on. That doesn't make me feel like too much of that makes me feel like crap, And then knowing now, like, okay, I know when I'm done if I'm eating that again, or I know that it doesn't make me feel good if I consume all that much, And so I think that's huge for me as I've gotten older, to just take inventory of how I'm feeling after I eat certain foods, or even after I work out, right? How I'm feeling after combined with what I eat. I think it's huge.
I think the thing that helped me a lot is because I've been trying to incorporate more vegetables, but doing it in a natural way, in like a yummy way. Because I feel like a lot of people say they hate vegetables because they're just not cooking them correctly or like preparing them correctly. So I've been looking at a lot of vegan recipes, because you can always add meat. I feel like if you want meat, you can add meat. That's not a difficult thing to do. So I've been looking at a lot of vegan recipes, and it's been cool to learn about different things that they use to be able, like different spices, like nutritional yeast, different things like that, to be able to incorporate certain things, like a cheesy flavor with nutritional yeast, or like different grains that they use, and just not going with the traditional route just because that's how I've always done it. Doesn't mean it should be the way that I'm doing it now. So for example, I use lentils in place of beef when I made like a sauce. This was also before I found out about curds. So I made like a tomato sauce, and instead of using like ground beef or ground turkey, I used lentils. So still protein, still meaty type texture. But that was like my meat sauce that I made for my pasta, and it was delicious. So different things like that it's actually been super helpful. And then also looking at like different cultures and how they cook, like, has also been really interesting as well. And like cultures that we might not necessarily be super familiar with, like what are the spices that they use? How do they prepare their food? That sort of stuff. So it's been nice. I've been enjoying it to be able to just to like try different spices, things I've never heard of or even can pronounce.
Nice.
Yeah.
What would you guys say were some of your proudest moments throughout your journey? Anyone? Okay, I'll go first.
Well,
Oh, go ahead, Levi. Go ahead.
well, I did used to do a lot of arm wrestling with my friends. And I did that again, and I actually won against one of my pretty strong friends. And he's also very tall, always calls me short. So it was a win in my book.
Nice.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think for me is realizing how much I can actually lift. So I prefer to lift in kilos than pounds, because with kilos, you just add on, like, I'm not thinking about how much I'm actually adding on. I just like write it down and I don't actually convert it to pounds. And for me, I feel like it stops that mental block of like, oh, that's really heavy. I don't know if I can lift that. And then just being able just to like push through, because it doesn't like, how much is really like 70 kilos? I don't know, right? Like, okay, how much is 80? How much is 90? How much, And so it seems like a much smaller number since I normally live in pounds. And so working with kilos has really helped. And I try not to do the math like ever. And it's just how much it is. And then I can track based on kilos. And so like when I do want to see like, oh, I feel like that was really good. How much was it? Then I'll do the conversion. But I try not to think about it. And I found that it helps me be able to listen to my body instead of psych myself out over, oh, that's a lot. I don't know if I can do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I guess it would be like lifting 200 pounds, like the first time I did it. And I was like, oh my God.
Deadlift?
Yeah. No. Was it deadlift?
She's like bench.
Yeah, deadlift.
Bench.
Bench 200 pounds. No, I was trying to think if it was
four plates. Let's go.
I couldn't remember if it was a back squat or a deadlift. It was a deadlift. I didn't hit 200 for my back squat.
Back squat.
Yeah.
Nice. I think I had a lot of proud moments, but for sure, one of my proudest moments was competing at UFC gym in their like little in-house competition. The first time I competed, I got third place. And even though I got third place, I was disappointed about that, but I was super proud of myself because I had trained without a trainer. Everyone else had a trainer. The girl that won first place, she was dating her trainer. And apparently he had told her about this competition in January, and the competition was in November. So she had nearly an entire year to train for this, while the rest of us had 1 month. Because they didn't announce it until a month before the competition, which if you know anything about the way working out works, you can't gain that much strength in a month. Like you just can't gain that much of an edge on anyone in a month. But I trained by myself, and the coach that was supposed to coach me, he like backed out. So I got third place on my own. That was really exciting. The second time I competed, I got first place, and I got first place by a lot. And that was a testament to just like really focusing on my weaknesses and working on stuff that I don't want to say I didn't enjoy it, because I did enjoy working on it. But I think that competition, that was like, when I finished that competition, I realized like I had more fun, like training for this competition than I did actually competing. The actual competition I did not think was well run. And I was really irritated. And even though I had won a spot to move on to like the next level, I chose not to, because it was just not that fun. Yeah. So that was another proud moment for me. And then I think now my proudest moment now has been, you guys probably, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but so I've been dealing with like pain in my hands, and my doctor told me, I've seen multiple doctors for this, and I was told it's just arthritis. They don't know why I have arthritis, and they don't know why it's just in one location on both hands. But they're like, yeah, it's definitely arthritis. They wanted to give me a cortisone shot, and after doing research, I found that would actually be a terrible, terrible idea. So I refused to do that, and I did what I thought was right, and I've slowly seen a decrease in pain. So doctors still can't tell me what's wrong with my hands, and but I'm slowly seeing improvement, and I think that has been one of my proudest moments of being able to actually be patient and just like when I have those setbacks, not getting discouraged and just being like, okay, it's just a setback. Like I did something to inflame it. Like now I just got to kind of let it, like, I have to like scale it back again. And then kind of, it's like, sometimes it does feel like, I take one step forward and then 2 steps back. But the fact that I'm seeing improvements is definitely a testament that what I'm doing is working. It's just going to take maybe a little bit longer than I would like it to take.
Well, I think it also shows like how much growth as a person you've been able to do. And I think this just goes for everyone because like I feel like when you're young and you're like, I want to do this, you don't necessarily realize the impact of like pushing through certain things will actually have and being able to like accept like, okay, I just need to stop and slow down. So I think that also is like a lot of like mental and personal growth as well in that. Oh, Elfie, you're muted.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, and I think like that is one lesson that I've learned throughout this whole fitness journey is that if you are not having fun during the journey, then you're not doing something right. Then you need to change something because I really do believe that there is something out there for everyone to enjoy. But yeah, Mills, what about you? What would you say is one of your proudest moments?
I mean, there's several, but there is one that I like to highlight from the beginning of my journey. My baseline, when I first kind of started, I was like, all right, I'm not a great runner. So let me go baseline 1 mile. And there's this big park in Stockton that is short of a mile. So if you just do 1 lap plus a little bit, it's a mile. And my first baseline run when I was like bigger, wasn't even a run, barely a walk, was 38 minutes to do a mile. 38 minutes. Most people walk faster than that. And for some reason, it was 38 minutes for me to do that mile. And so I was really disappointed with myself. But then I worked at it. And I made running part of my regiment, right? Running, even though I hated it, I made running part of it. I think like 6 to 8 months later or something like that, or even a year later, I think my base, when I reran that mile, that same mile was like, I think I was sub 7.
Wow.
Yeah, sub 7. But I was also training for Spartan. I was also training for GoRuck. So I ran a lot. But I
you want to explain GoRuck?
Sorry. Yeah. So GoRuck are like endurance races led by like military personnel. A lot of leadership really is what comes from it, teamwork. And so you're carrying weight, you're carrying, other people. So they're endurance races anywhere from, I think 6 hours is the shortest. 8 to 11 is like the mid, and then the longer ones are 24 hours plus. But I was training for those. I was training for a Spartan and I was training for a GoRuck. So I was covering a lot of distance in those training regiments. So I was doing 6 miles pretty much on the daily, but I would never baseline a mile. So when I decided to rerun that same mile around the same park, I think I was still sub 7 for sure. I would be like 6:59, but still sub 7 for sure.
Hey, I mean, that's
going
sub 7.
Going from almost 40 minutes to less than 7.
Yeah. And that was
in a year.
Exactly.
Is incredibly impressive.
Yeah. It was for sure. I mean, now that I look back on it, maybe I shouldn't have rucked, some of those miles with weight because my knees are paying for it now. But, I've taken Elfie right by that same park, right? It's a big park. And I just, every time I go by it, I'm reminded those 2 runs, the run where I baselined for 40 minutes, the run where I ran my fastest mile, right? And so that was I knew when I hit that fast mile, I was like, okay, I can do whatever I literally put my mind to, right? It was not my intended goal to run sub 7. It was just try. And so that was a good proud moment for me. And now ever since then, it's like, okay, I can kind of do whatever I put my mind to. I know it's like they say that as a kid, but to realize that as an adult was like a really proud moment for me. It's like, all right, cool. I can lose this weight. I can do this and I can do whatever. Went on to do Spartan races, went on to do more GoRucks than I can literally count, right? And so, yeah, that was kind of my proudest moment that I can think of.
That's awesome.
Nice. Well, I have a proud moment for Mills. You guys don't know this, and this is why we actually bought the Oreos. He he's not going to say it because he gets embarrassed. But he actually just got his 4th stripe as a blue belt. So the next step would be to become a purple belt. So the next time his coach thinks that he's ready, it would be for a purple belt. So
that's amazing.
Thank you.
Levi, you're muted.
You're muted, Levi.
Levi, you're muted in case
you're talking.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking.
Oh, I was gonna say that was amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Levi.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I wasn't really talking, so thank God.
You literally can do whatever you put your mind to. You know that now.
Well, so your guys' stories reminded me of something I am proud of, and I totally forgot about it. So when I was part of the UFC gym, they had a competition, and it was a group competition, and my group members that were part of my group were middle-aged women. So I was the youngest, I think, at 30, and the other 3 women, I think, were in their 50s, if I remember correctly. And all of the other groups that we were competing against, there was one group that was like full of Spartan racers. There was like various different types of athletes, right? Some newbies to the gym. I think there was a group of children. Various groups, but we were going against like people that train every single day doing all these different things. And all 4 of us were very into like being healthy and doing that, but we were more like functional fitness type people, and we're not extreme by any sense of the word. And we won that competition. And I think that is and I remember like the group of like Spartan racers were upset. They're like, what? Like, we need a recount, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, no, dude, they won. And I think it's because we all knew what our strength was, and we played to our strengths, and we worked as a team, and it really showed. And it was a team of all women that were 30 plus, majority 50 plus. And we beat them, and we were so surprised. And I think that is probably one of my proudest moments, because it did show like it doesn't matter who you are, you can still do it. And it does and we were there to have fun. Like, we legitimately weren't doing it as like, as something like as a competition. We were there to have fun. We were there to have fun with our friends and like try our very best. And we won. So I think that is probably one of my proudest moments out of like everything that I've accomplished.
Nice. That actually reminded me, for that competition, just because you said UFC gym, and you were talking about like people were complaining, for when I won first place, my judge was definitely like not helping me. He was like kind of holding me back. The first workout in that competition included running on the treadmill, and I hadn't been training inside of UFC because I didn't feel like their classes were giving me the tools that I needed in order to be able to succeed in the competition. So I was working with a personal trainer outside of the gym. And so no one ever saw me. They just assumed that I'd never worked out before. I don't know why they assumed that, but they just assumed I'd never like done this before. And this judge kept trying to like coach me. And I was like, bro, I'm good. And he's just like I entered the speed that I want on the treadmill. He's like, no, that's not how you do it. This is how you do it. And he was doing it a much slower way. He's like, oh, I see what you were doing. Your way's much faster. I was like, yeah. And, you know what, guys, we're actually going to take a short break. We will be right back. Sorry to interrupt you. I mean, interrupt myself in the middle of my story, but we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that little interruption there. We are on the free version of Google Meet, so we get 1 hour to talk. So if you want to help us out, please like and subscribe to our channel and share with your friends so that we can start making some money off of this and we can upgrade to premium Google Meet where we get unlimited time. All right. But jumping back into it. Yeah. So this judge that I had, he was one of the coaches at the gym. And I get it. He was trying to help me. Like, you know, he really wanted me to do well, but he didn't understand that, you know, he should have just, I mean, to be fair, like he should not have been helping me because none of the other judges were helping, you know, their contestants. And so that would have given me an unfair edge if I didn't know. So he should have just kind of let me do my thing. But yeah, like there was one part where we were jump roping and he was like, hey, I can't hear your jump rope hitting the ground. So it's a no rep. And I was like, why is it a no rep? And he was like, because I can't hear it hit that ground. How do I know that it went under your feet? I'm like, because I didn't trip over it. Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious, but whatever, man. Like, you're the judge. That's fine. And that was a really proud moment for me where I kept getting no reps from this guy. He kept like holding me back because he would tell me like to do things differently. Like, no, like you need to do it like this. No, you need to do it like that. Or he's like, here, let me show you a better way. And it wasn't better, right? Because like I trained and I was really familiar with the equipment that I had to use. And so it was frustrating, but being able to keep my cool and being like, okay, fine. Like the thing is in competition, like things don't always go your way and you just have to roll with the punches. And if your judge is no repping you, then you just have to be like, what do you want from me? And then do whatever it is that they want. Even if you're like, that's not right. That's not how, like, that's not competition rules, whatever. At the end of the day, they're the judge. And so you just sometimes you just get a sucky judge and you gotta roll with the punches. So just being able to keep my cool and not let that get to my head and not let it like discourage me. It actually fired me up because I was like, you know what? Now the fact that this guy keeps no repping me, the fact that this guy keeps like screwing with me, no one can say that I didn't earn this. Because I can be like, no, I was no rep a ton of times. There was like, even like with the squats, like I was going below parallel. He kept saying like, nope, no rep, no rep. And there was a girl that wasn't getting any, I think Mills can attest to this. There was a girl that wasn't even getting close to parallel and she wasn't getting no repped. And so I was like, good, like, I want that because no one can say that I didn't earn this fair and square. So that was
also didn't realize that you were a ghost and that jump ropes just went right through you.
They do, you know. But we are coming up on our time here. So we'll end here with our closing question. Where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years? Obviously, in regards to your fitness.
I hope to see myself being able to at least pick one of my friends up because all of them can pick me up. So I at least hope to do that.
Nice.
I will, in 5 years, I would like to be able to be on a good diet for what my body needs and be consistent with my workouts with minimal injury and be stronger and faster than I am today.
Nice. What about you, Mills?
I hope to be still working out, still eating healthier. I hope to be progressing a lot more in jiu-jitsu. It's kind of my main drive right now, whether that's through teaching or through, as an athlete in it. I hope to be, still in it in some capacity. And that's the goal, right? That's going to be the lifelong goal. But yeah, honestly, I hope I'm still kind of eating healthier, continue to eat healthier and continue to train more, whether that's in jiu-jitsu or I hope to be in jiu-jitsu or CrossFit in some capacity. That's what I hope to be doing in 5 years.
Nice. I think for me, I am hoping that I'm able to figure out what the heck is going on with my hands and just recover from that and find a way to like heal my hands or stop the inflammation, whatever is going on with it, so that I can get back to being able to work out and do everything that everyone else can do, and just being able to compete again, because I love competing, and like that's something that I miss. Like the CrossFit Open is coming up, and I keep getting all these emails like sign up for it. I'm like, I literally cannot because I have to modify so many things. Like, so yeah, that's where I hope to be in 5 years. Just continue healing and getting stronger, and yeah, improving in my fitness to where I'm competition ready, and working on my nutrition and making sure that, it's supporting those goals. But yeah, we would love to hear your fitness journey and what you guys, where you hope to be in 5 years. So please leave us a comment and yeah, let us know. Until next time, bye everyone.
Bye.
Cool.
Okay. We have to do our smile.
Levi, pause.
What?
Just hold still, Levi.
Hang on, wait, hang on. Let me just.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Cool. That was it.
What's on your fingers?
Band-Aids.
Why?
We all said why.
So aggressively too.
No.
It's cool to ask why
We're not concerned aunts and uncles.
Well, you know how I was like talking about how I was gonna punch a punching bag? Yeah, I can't do that anymore. No, like I didn't even get to on Thursday. This has been here since Thursday. I scraped my hands, all 3 of these fingers at the same time.
Doing what? Knuckle dragging?
No, I was walking backwards. Now, I was like squatting and squat jumping backwards to get the view of a camera, because we need to do a Flipgrid thing for my freaking Spanish class. So yeah.
So you fell? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I had to do then we had to do weights. So that was tough. Weights for PE. So yeah, I'm just waiting for this to heal now before I can go back to punching.
Well, hopefully it heals soon.
I hope so too.
Well, I'm glad you were able to join us today, Bridget.
I'm glad too.
So just a reminder, no episode next week. So we'll get together again on the 19th, and it's going to be Winchester Mystery House and the Toys R Us Ghost, which I haven't found much on the Toys R Us. Oh, wait. Should I change that to Bloody Mary?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah. I'm like, we still need to do it, and then we can find more stuff on the Toys R Us Ghost too.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna see Bloody Mary and see how it comes up in like movies and things like that. I'm gonna see if I can find that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So we'll do Bloody Mary on the 19th, and then we'll do Winchester Mystery House, Toys R Us Ghost. Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Also, I thought of a new one. I don't know if we want to go this route because, governments. Do you want to do MK Ultra?
We can do MK Ultra.
Because that could be a fun topic.
Yeah, the whole mind control thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I added it to the possible topics, and then we'll see. 26, 305. We can do that for 305. We can add that to 305. March
Okay.
5th.
Are we going to do a Leprechaun episode?
We should.
If we did, because we're 4 weeks. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have to be instead of Bloody Mary. We'd have to do.
Okay. I mean, it's up to you guys. I don't care. Either way. Or we can just.
I mean, we can do. I mean, are you talking about for St. Patrick's Day or just in general?
Either one.
I would put it under possible topics.
Okay.
And we can do leprechauns as a separate thing because otherwise we'd have to like push everything out.
Yeah.
To do it in time for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that as a separate topic.
Okay.
Not like a St. Patrick's Day special.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Have a good Saturday.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.